All right, everybody. Welcome to the very first Dynasty Racing League television live stream. We have the Kentucky 120. That's the main race. This is the A split race. This is a two-part series, so there's an A split and a B split at once. The top 20 drivers from each split will qualify for the main race. That race will go live at 9:55 p.m. Eastern. My name is Ryan Branch. I'm alongside Derek Pemberton. Derek, welcome to the stream.
Yeah, it feels great. Feels kind of good to be over here on DRL TV. So it's a little bit of a different, I guess, kind of broadcast. This ain't the first time broadcasting these guys, but it feels a little bit different being underneath a different name finally. So I can't wait to watch this race. I don't usually get to watch the A split guys. I'm usually in B split, so this will be quite interesting to see how these guys race compared to the B split guys.
Yeah, it should be really good. This race is always put on very well. These guys, they're a little bit faster. Things happen. They're a little more patient with each other. Everybody stays a little bit more clean in the A split. It's not much different than the B split. Those guys, you will see a lot of them in the main race. They'll qualify up near some of these top runners in this one. I know you've been finishing in probably top 5 in most of the B split races, and then the main race evens out pretty even. So.
Yeah, usually I think out of the 4 starts I've had B split, I've won 2, and the rest of them been top 5s. But here we go. This thing could get pretty interesting here with Eric Wolf on the pole alongside Blake Griffith, who Blake Griffith was actually saying he didn't feel like he was that fast here. That's kind of a shock to see him up front.
Yeah, we didn't have a qualifying lap by Anthony Burrows. I don't think he's in this race as of yet. Blake Griffith is starting in second. He has been up there historically pretty regularly, so he's done very well in this series. And here we go, taking the green flag. Eric Wolf is off in first. Blake Griffith follows him in second.
I thought they had to wait to the green flag, but I guess not.
Oh, so what there is here with in this league, essentially, you don't have to wait until the green flag. As soon as the pace car drops off, the leader can start the race whenever they choose.
Oh, okay. I always thought the initial was on green, but right now, Eric Wolf pulling off to a little bit of lead. Blake Griffith staying right there with him. The wrong way. Eric Johnson, he's running in third, and then we're about 2 wide, at least almost 3 wide there with James Lorello, Brady Briggs, and Ryan Heschgard. Ryan Heschgard on the outside of Brady Briggs, who was our last week winner.
James, I'm going to be slow on this track. Go ahead, take.
And then we're still 2 wide back here with Brandon Dalton and Justin Roden. Oh, a little bit of bumping already down the back straightaway with James Lorello and Brady Briggs. Brady Briggs going to the inside of him off at turn number 3. Following him right there is James Lorello. Pretty close to his inside there. Pretty much everyone's starting to single file out now.
I had voice chat enabled there for a second. Everybody was hearing what the drivers were saying, but the top 3 looks pretty thin as of now. Blake Griffith is staying right with Eric Wolf, followed closely by Eric Johnson, a couple car lengths back, and then there's quite a pack right behind him.
Yeah, usually though, in these races, usually it gets single file out, then it usually gets pretty boring. As Brady Briggs, he did a great technique right there on James Lorello, forced him down the track a little bit to try to hang on to that 4th place, or I believe that is a 4th place position. So,
yeah, that was a beautiful pass. Ryan Heschgard tried to go low on him there, couldn't quite make the pass. They almost touched, and Brady Briggs edged him out coming out of that corner.
Slowly looking back to the field here. Yeah, pretty much we all got single file as Eric Wolf is still leading the way here as he's going to run the lead to start the 4th lap. Everyone's really sliding up coming out of turn 2 and turn number 4. Not necessarily a strange thing to see here at Kentucky, but these guys are a lot higher up than what I would usually think for this track.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks that has multiple grooves, so you're going to see this groove changing over the course of the race. Some people are going to go the low line early, and they're going to coast up late. That's what we've typically seen with tire wear here. As it goes on, people will try to find that middle or high groove as the race wears on, but it looks like they're running out pretty high early in this race and really using that entire corner to get around this track.
Well, the track is completely clean. Nothing carried over it didn't carry over from practice qualifying race. It completely started at 0 for all 3 sessions. So these guys are running on a fairly green racetrack, which is something I don't think we're necessarily used to. So that may be the reason why, but I figured they'd be running a little bit lower still.
Yeah, I expected them to run a little lower line than they are now. If you see Blake Griffith following right behind Eric Wolf there, he's running a tad bit lower line, less than car width lower than Eric Wolf is. I don't know if that is tire strategy by Blake or if it's tire strategy by Eric. It's impressive that he's been able to keep the lead he has running a little higher line than the other guys.
Last night, running in the Red Light Racing Series, Eric Johnson was in that. We were at Indianapolis. He went on a crazy pit strategy to try to give him a chance at winning that race last night. So I'm quite interested to see if he tries another crazy strategy here tonight to try to get in front of, let's just going to be real, a very dominant Eric Wolf, who, if he's in there, I think most of the time he wins it since I've been around. So, you know, you got to do something. I think out strategizing him could be the way to do it, and I feel like Eric could be that one guy that may be able to do it because I've seen him do it before.
Right. Eric has been strong in this league every week this season. He was very strong in the Cup Series last season, and we'll see if he's able to hold on to that lead and make sure that his pit strategy and his tire strategy is on point to take the #1 finish. If you look back 7th and 6th place right now, the 85 of Brandon Dalton, he's catching up to James Lorello. Going in the middle of every straight, he catches him. He tries to dive in lower than him in the corners, and he can't quite make the pass. So.
Sitting there watching it, it seems like Lorello is a little bit lower on entry, and then 85 gets a little bit lower than him. That's Brandon Dalton. He gets a little bit lower than James through the center, and then Lorello is still higher. It's actually, here comes the 27 of Justin Roden looking to the inside of Brandon. Don't know if he's actually going to be able to get there. They both kind of slide up a little bit. Actually, Justin, he lost a little bit of ground there coming off the corner. James Lorello, which he did something that, you know, usually most guys don't try to do, and that's go below the yellow line on the front straightaway. That is just extremely bumpy.
Yes, it is. Not only is it bumpy, but your tires get really slick really fast down there. That's almost a recipe for disaster. We're on lap 10 out of 50 here. I'm surprised these guys have kept it clean so far this race. We've had a pass for second.
Eric Johnson got in front of Blake Griffith there.
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Did Blake Griffith touch something, or Eric Johnson just got around him?
I think Eric Johnson just got flat around him. Yeah, he was on him at the start-finish line last time and just dove and got up underneath him. Blake just, I guess, just let him go.
So I've had a lot of personal experience with Blake myself. I listen to him during races. We've been in the same radio channels together and kind of talk strategy and stuff. Blake likes to run a very conservative line. He likes to save his tires. He likes to assume there's going to be long green flag runs, and he likes to come back on people late in runs. So we'll see if that pays off for him here.
Ooh, we actually got a battle back here going on for the fifth.
Ryan Hesgaard goes down on the apron.
He made he got a little bit loose, gets back up on the actual racing surface. That's also another thing. Unlike most other tracks, it seems like at Kentucky it looks like it's a little bit steeper getting back onto the actual racing surface on this at this racetrack. So, you know, don't be surprised if people continue to do that. They start getting loose coming out. But right there, Ryan Hesgaard made a textbook pass there on Brady Briggs. Actually, here comes Brandon Dalton to the inside of James Lorello again. Can't quite get there. You'll have to wait back and do it again. Lorello once again going below the yellow line.
Yeah, it looks like all of them are trying that, dipping down onto the apron there and seeing if they can get anything out of it. I know from experience that the truck wiggles when you go to come back up on the track. It's unlike never felt anything like that before. You can be in the middle of a corner and get a little bit loose and you know what's happening, but when you're touching that apron, the truck is left, right, left, right. It's kind of all over the place, and sometimes it's hard to manage when you get back up onto the racing surface and get more traction than you have on that apron down there.
Lorello, he was looking to the inside of Brady Briggs there going through turn number 3 and 4, and as you can, it looks like it is extremely hard to pass here. It's actually Brandon Dalton looked to the outside of James there, getting off into 1. Can't quite do it. It's actually, he's going to get a huge run coming back on the bottom. He's not going to quite be there. As actually Brady, it looks like he may have got loose there coming out of turn number 2 there. That's going to bring James right back up to him.
Looks like Ryan Hesgaard is a little more comfortable taking off there. He's got about a second lead on him now, and here he tries it again. James Lorello on the 13, trying to get that pass on Brady Briggs. He touches the apron one more time. Brady Briggs has to take the high line. Let's see if he can complete it in the middle of this turn. I have a feeling he's going to get a little loose down here.
I don't know. Brady, they're actually going to come a little bit closer together. They force Brady up into the wall. Here comes Brandon Dalton. He's actually going to take it 3 wide on the bottom here. Get ready to go for turn number 3. This can't end well. James Lorello backs out. They're still side by side. Actually, James Lorello gives Brady Briggs a tap there going through turn number 3. They're still side by side coming out of turn number 4 as they come to start finish line. Brandon Dalton still to the inside of James Lorello. He will technically take the position for now, but here comes James Lorello back on the outside.
Yeah, so that outside line, what they're doing is getting that outside run up high. The guys down low are getting pretty loose. They're having to let off just a little bit coming out of the corner. And that's how the 85 got such a large run coming out of that corner there and down the straight to get the pass in the 13. But as you noticed, again, the 13, because he has the high line, here he comes, charging back up alongside the 85, right on the tail of the 18 of Brady Briggs. Let's go back up and check the leaders. We got Eric Wolf. He has a good 2-second lead on Eric Johnson in second place. Seems to be running away with the race a little bit. Eric Wolf will tend to do that. He's a very good driver. He's very good at keeping his line. He runs the same line around the track all race long. He hardly ever touches a wall. He is a very disciplined driver. So if you notice, then you go back to Blake Griffith. He's another 1.5 seconds behind Eric Johnson, and Ryan Hesgard follows closely behind him. Go back and look at the race for the 5th position. Brady Briggs still holds that. Brandon Dalton close behind him. James Lorello in 7th place. And David Wright brings in the 8th position as he makes a move, going low on James Lorello. David Wright's now overtaken the 7th position. And the 85 is passing Brady Briggs on the inside. Again, we'll see if he gets loose coming out of 4 here. He does not. He maintains his position as Brady Briggs gets a little bit of a run on the high side coming down the front straight.
Brady,
and then he dives low.
Back here. Yeah, he does a great job there. He may come up a little bit. Has to get off the gas there. Wow, that was almost a catastrophe right there. That's going to open up the door for David Wright now coming to the inside. And may actually bring James Lorello, try to get back around Brady Briggs. He's been trying to work on Brady for about the last 8 or 9 laps here. David Wright actually is going to run Brady Briggs up a little bit higher than most other guys. James Lorello looked like he was trying to shoot through the middle there, but couldn't quite get there. So now David Wright and Brady Briggs stay side by side coming to the start-finish line.
It looks like David Wright really took advantage of that situation. Those guys slowed up a little bit, trying to get around one another and not run into each other, and David Wright snuck up there right on the tail.
Well, David Wright, right there, he looked like he got a little bit loose there coming through turns 1 and 2 right there. Kind of slowed up James Lorello's momentum there as that kind of forces Brady Briggs to go a little bit wide. It looks like he's just going to let him go. Has he got an extra rock in his car or something? Because it seems like he is just falling back here. Doesn't look like he's got the same speed as he started out with. He is at least lost, I would say, from the drop of the green flag, I think he's lost like 7 spots, I think is what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, with Brady Briggs falling back like he is, either he was pushing a little too hard trying to stay with those guys up front, or he is just conserving tires here. 21 laps into a 50-lap run. These guys, you know, they feel as though they should be comfortable with their trucks at this point, and if you know, Brady Briggs was pushing too hard, his tires are probably gone at this point.
By this point, I would be almost certain that he has used them up because, I mean, we're counting, I don't know exactly what the fuel run is here. I don't know if they got a pit here or not, but you would think at this stage of the race, you know, we're coming close to the halfway point in this race, you know. Maybe figure we're about to see everyone who's kind of used their tires, who's really been saving. And right now, I'll tell you someone that is actually keeping a little bit closer to what I thought is Eric Johnson to Eric Wolf. Eric has actually done a pretty good job keeping it somewhat close, a little bit closer than what I had originally thought. I figured Eric would have been able to pull straight out on him, but as of right now, Eric's keeping it, you know, he's only just about, you know, almost 3 seconds behind. That's a fairly big margin, but it could be a lot bigger.
Yeah, if you look at the statistics right now, Eric Wolf, best lap compared to Eric Johnson, he's only about a 10th faster than Eric Johnson, but the last lap, he was a little over a 10th faster. So Eric is gaining, but he's gaining at a very minimal rate. And if Eric Johnson keeps up what he's doing, if these guys have to pit or if a caution comes out, it's going to make this race a lot more even than it currently is.
Wow, right there again, Eric Johnson just a little bit faster than Eric Wolf. We'll see if that causes any change there. Still looking on back throughout the field here. Trying to see if I can find a battle here.
You notice too, another thing I was just looking at, all of these racers. So we have guys that came from our Cup Series. This is our Winter Truck Series here at Dynasty Racing League. It's kind of a fun series. We try to get everybody involved. We're trying to pick up some new drivers and make sure that we are stacked and everybody gets to know each other before the beginning of the 2018 season. Eric Wolf and Eric Johnson are both over 5,000 I rating. The next closest behind those two would be Blake Griffith at 2860. So these guys they regularly race with better drivers in iRacing. They're used to being out there in the front. They're used to running away with these races. And again, they're just so consistent. They run the same line every time around the track. And the tires, they do not let that tire wear affect them very much.
I wish I had that. Well, battle going on back here for the 6th place position. James Gorilla once again trying to work on David Wright. Doesn't seem to have a whole lot of luck there. He's going to lose a little bit of ground on him. Brady Briggs hanging on back there. Here comes actually Chris James. Haven't talked a lot about him today. He's just actually Brady Briggs may have gotten in the wall right there, but Chris James running in 9th position right now. He's doing a fairly good job, just maintaining. These guys think that they don't have to worry about racing their way into the main event, but you still want to try to get as good as practice as possible. And right now, Chris, he's doing a good job keeping that car clean.
Yeah, we didn't have the greatest turnout tonight. We have 16 drivers. Everybody's on the lead lap right now. So the top 20 are going to make it in from each of these splits into the main race, and that's where all the action is going to take place. But the 15, he's just trying to stay clean. I think Brady Briggs, he had to have eaten his tires up early because he is having a tough time maintaining the control of that truck right now.
Yeah, it just seems like he's continuing to fall more and more to the back here. Right there, he's running a little bit wider, which is actually quite concerning me a little bit. He may get in the wall again. He about got loose there.
He got a little loose right around that wall. Yes, he did. The 15 makes the easy pass. And looks like Chris James could run up here and catch up to Lorello and David Wright, because those two keep battling. They're going to slow each other down by the battles that they're having, and it might give Chris James an opportunity to pass here in a minute.
Yeah, pretty much everyone's spread out. Actually, we got a battle here going on for 3rd place position. Ryan Hescard has finally ran down Blake Griffith. We haven't talked about these two guys getting anywhere close to each other ever since Ryan made the pass. I'd say on about lap 8 or 9. It's taken almost 20 laps to run down Blake Griffith, and now he finally ran him down. Now the question is, did Ryan use up his stuff trying to get up to him? We will see. Ryan is running a little bit higher than Blake. Not necessarily a surprise there. Figured that these guys both are probably running a different kind of line here. We'll see if Ryan can get the run coming down the back. Doesn't look like it. Looks like it's fairly even until right there at the very end. Ryan gets a huge run getting off into turn number 3. They look pretty even coming out of 4 here. We'll see if Ryan can get a good run here.
We haven't had much action between these two this race. These two have some history so far in the Winter Series. They ran in Cup last year together, and so far in these trucks, I know both of these guys like running the trucks a lot more than they like running the Cup cars, and they're both very good at it. They're both very similar in I rating, and already this season, they have been in multiple moments where they came very close to contacting one another, if not making contact with one another so far this season, and that they tend to be right next to each other every single race.
Well, right there, I thought Blake was going to let him go, but I guess he didn't. He's still hanging on to that outside. He's probably telling Ryan, hit the gas pedal. Let's go, get in front of me. He finally clears him. Finally, Blake can get back down. Try to see if maybe he can hang on right there. Actually, he gets a good run coming back on Ryan. See if he'll be able to make a move getting off into turn number 3.
Yeah, I feel like he was kind of trying to let him go there. Derek, I know you're a driver as well. How do you feel, when you have somebody charging up on the inside, especially if they are one of the higher drivers in the league, or, if they're good at that track, how do you feel when somebody's charging up behind you? Do you kind of just completely ease off and let them around, or do you just take the high line and let them work for the position?
No. As I'm more of an aggressive driver, I kind of still want to make them work for that position because, you're still trying to be competitive. He's still a competitor. You still want to try to beat him and let you know, like, he's like a alien. Oh, yellow is out. Yellow is out.
Let's see. Where do we get the wreck from?
James Pandoff. Oh, he is smoking. Let's see here.
Let's take a look back here and see what happened.
I see exactly what it is.
We're going to go back about 30 seconds and watch James coming out of 4 here. Oh, James just gets very loose directly into that outside wall, locks down the brakes to try to avoid everybody behind him, stops in the middle of the track, gets himself back down to the apron right by the start-finish line. James is still rolling, so it doesn't look like he hurt his truck too bad. I don't know if you're familiar with the race setup here. During these splits, they actually have 2 faster pairs. So for anybody who's not familiar with iRacing, how that works, essentially it allows you to enter the pits. It allows you to get 100% repairs on your truck in minimal time. It does it instantly, and it allows you to get back into position and continue as you were. There's 2 of those in these split races. There will only be 1 in the main race this evening. But I can't believe, man, these guys went 33 laps out of 50 completely green. That's impressive, man. That's better than I think we've seen all season so far from these guys. I know a lot of drivers are new around one another, and everybody's still kind of getting used to each other and how everyone drives. And it's awesome to see them go 33 laps clean.
Yeah, it's a lot better than B class or the B split. I'll tell you that. Yeah, pretty good job. I kind of like this a little bit. You know, nice, good long run. You know, we'll see what these guys can put together for this final. You know, I believe it's gonna be. How many laps exactly it's gonna be here?
Looks like we have about 17 to go here.
Yeah, so we may have about
probably have 16 to go when we go green, I would imagine. Maybe 15.
Yeah, 13 or 15, I'd be almost sure.
We got Eric Wolf leading the way down pit road. Well, see, I imagine everybody's going to take 4 tires here. I know you've raced at Kentucky a few times, Derek. Tell me what it's like, man, when those tires start to get slick here.
Let's see. What's the most PG word that I can use? Crap.
Yeah, it's really not fun, man. The truck, it feels like it slows down. And we can see just based off of these guys' laps what their best and their most recent lap was. And they're only 1.5, 2 seconds off the pace from where they started. But it feels like the truck is absolutely riding on ice, man.
Did certain guys not pit?
I don't know if everybody pit. I think Daniel Hallis stayed out with the pit car. I don't know what his strategy is there. But Eric Wolf lost multiple positions. I have a feeling Ryan Hesgard, Eric Johnson, Blake Griffith, David Wright, and Brandon Dalton. I think Eric passed his pit stall there. Let me go back and look at this.
He was on pit road for 5 seconds longer.
Let's watch him come down pit road here one more time.
Oh, he slid.
He slides through his box. Oh, that's what it is. I was going to say he didn't slide through his box. He was right where he needed to be, but he was too far to the left. His pit crew couldn't jump out there and help him, and he had to back up and move back forward and to the right. And he got passed by, let's count the number of drivers that passed him coming off pit road. The 33 passed him. The 7 passed him. The 2 passed him. The 85 passed him. And the 42 passed him. He got passed by multiple drivers on pit road there.
Talk about a game changer. That's huge right there. I mean, yeah, he's fast, but now the thing is, he hasn't really ran in traffic.
He's not ran in traffic at all, and we've seen Eric Wolf race many a time. If he's here on these good tires, I think he'll do okay in traffic. But if he can't get back up to that P1, P2, P3 within 3 or 4 laps, when everybody gets wear on their tires, I don't know if Eric Wolf's going to be able to make the passes here.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the guy's still, the guy's just overall a beast at this. But my thing is, though, we're not going to have too many laps. So, you know, Eric's probably trying to pay off everyone that's in between him and Eric right now, going like, hold him up the best you can, do something, don't let him pass you, you know, do whatever. I mean, you've got to, everyone's going against Eric right now because everybody wants to win. Let's be real. But, you know, you feel like your best chance is keeping Eric, you know, kind of behind you. But I just don't know how really good that's actually going to work.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are going to be fighting to keep Eric Wolf behind them. I can tell you, I've tried to fight to keep Eric Wolf behind me, and it's not exactly the most easy thing to do. He's a very confident driver. He will drive right up on your bumper, and he'll make that dive low inside when he needs it, and he will pass you with authority. So Derek, who you thinking takes it here? We got we're gonna have 14 to go when we go green. Who's your bet on?
I got Eric. I think if Eric can get out in front, I think he will get it.
And that's Eric Wolf you're speaking?
No, Eric Johnson, my fault.
Eric Johnson. I kind of feel like the same situation. Hesgard and Blake Griffith will both give him a very good run for his money. I feel like David Wright sitting in P3 right now. He is good, but he's better on long runs. Blake Griffith and Ryan Hesgard both showed they have speed early in these runs here. I know Eric Wolf tries to maintain. Hopefully he can try to burn some rubber off these tires and get a few positions back and fight with those guys. But Eric Johnson was sticking with Eric Wolf that entire green flag run. And here we go, green. Eric Wolf gets off to a quick start. Ryan Hesgard drops low early, gets right in front of Blake Griffith. That cannot make Blake Griffith happy because now he doesn't really have a choice. He's still going to try to go low on Ryan Hesgard.
Actually, here comes Eric Wolf. Go to the middle, 3 wide. They touch a little bit between him and yellow's out.
We're back to yellow.
I don't
Oh, that
know.
was such a good battle up there at the front. See if we can scroll back here and see what happened. I'm going to rewind. The 9 car looks slow in the back, so we're going to go back here and see if we can see what happened.
Oh, I see it. It was the 15, yeah.
Oh, Brady Briggs tried to go inside of Chris James on the low side of that corner. Just barely got into his back left quarter panel and turned Chris James a little bit sideways. Looks like his truck's going to be fine. He might not even need a faster pair here when he comes down pit road, but that is going to leave him stuck back there in the back with no repairs, and it's going to be quite a fight, considering the position he was running in earlier. He must have had some issues on pit road in that last that last stop as well, huh?
Isn't the move that Ryan Hesgard made illegal? How he had to stay in his lane to the start-finish line?
Say that again?
Isn't it a rule that you got to stay in your lane before the start-finish line?
What do you mean by that?
Like, once the green drops, you got to stay in your line until you get the start-finish line, right?
So essentially, if the green drops, you can pass somebody on the outside. You cannot pass somebody on the inside before the start-finish line.
But you cannot change lanes, right? Or you can change lanes.
I believe you can change lanes all you want, so long as you don't pass somebody. If the leader takes off, so you're talking about Ryan Hesgard dropping below Blake Griffith there?
I remember last week we were getting yelled at, to stay in line. So I can't remember because.
So everybody has to stay in line, but once that leader hits the gas, anytime between the pace car dropping off the track and the start-finish line, everybody's feel free to do as they please. If the car in front of you is not moving, or if you need to make a move like that to drop in front of somebody, you can.
Oh, well, shit, I would have done that last week, but I always thought we had to wait.
Now, that's a little unfortunate with Ryan Hesgard sitting where he was. He wasn't right up on the 33, so either he doesn't have VR or he doesn't have 3 monitors and couldn't really see the 33 out of his left window there. So he didn't know exactly when he was going. He seemed like he was sitting almost a half to a whole car length behind the 33 to watch when he took off after the pace dropped. And Blake Griffith, Ryan Hesgard just got on the gas early enough to get down in front of him.
Yeah, one thing I've figured out is the best way to help you on these kind of starts is doing the rallycross. Trying to get on that gas real quick. Doing that rallycross stuff helps tremendously.
Oh, that's a huge thing. I love that iRacing added the global rallycross into this. It gives everybody it's kind of a mix, man. The guys who run the ovals can do okay. The guys who run dirt, the guys who run road courses, the guys who run straight ovals, everybody can kind of go there, be a family, and race those races and have a little fun with it. Global Rallycross is probably one of the coolest additions I've seen to iRacing thus far.
Unless you're me, and literally, this is the second time this week I've been back to an oval in probably 3 weeks. So, practicing for road course racing for the Saturday, a lot of us haven't seen a whole lot of oval racing, so this is quite interesting, I will say. I don't know if it's affecting these guys any, but I know I probably couldn't be able to race tonight unless I had like an extra 2 hours of practice.
Yeah, it's tough. I know the league themselves, they put up an early practice here at Kentucky. Same conditions that they're racing in tonight. The weather can change a little bit because we use the dynamic weather system, but I know they had a practice going on for about 4 hours before these races commence this evening. So just to give everybody an opportunity to run some laps, make sure these guys put on a nice show for all of our viewers, and so far I think they've accomplished that.
Yeah, and it's only about to get better here because, we're only going to have about 8 or 9 laps, and blocks are about to be put on because everyone's about ready to throw out the door, because you know there's nothing to lose now. I mean, the only thing is if you're in a points battle right now, and as far as I know, let me check on that. Right now, Brady Briggs is the points leader, and Blake Griffith is in second. He's behind 5 points of him, then Jordan Gonzalez, and Daniel Hallis, and then James Pandolf is your top 5. So this is we got some guys up here that can really change some things around here, like Eric here, who I believe this is his first start.
I think this is Eric's first start. I haven't seen him. He is a rookie here in the DRL. He first time starting in one of these Winter Truck Series. First time starting with us, period. So it's impressive to see him doing what he's doing. We got these guys lined up too wide. They're getting ready to go green. We'll watch the pace car drop off and see if Ryan Hesgaard makes the same move down on Blake Griffith here.
Yeah, but my thing is though, now if I'm Ryan, you almost got to be mirror driving now, because you got to look who's in that mirror behind you.
That's right. You got to make sure Eric Wolf doesn't get around you here too. He moved up a couple positions in a very short period of time on that last restart. So
we'll see here. Pace car getting ready to drop. Pace car in. Eric Johnson is waiting, still waiting.
And there he goes. He goes green. Ryan Hesgaard makes the same exact move down low early on Blake Griffith. We'll see if Eric Wolf can move out to the outside and get around these guys.
I don't know, because it's going to be tough for Eric to get all the way down and be able to get the line he wants. I don't think it's really going to matter. Look at him power on that outside line.
What is Ryan Hesgaard thinking there from your point of view? If he drops low that early, Eric Wolf got to jump quick because he can see the 33 better than the 2 can. So, of course, he's going to go immediately. As soon as Eric Johnson takes off, Eric Wolf is on full throttle.
Oh, boy, but you know, honestly, you just got to look at this whole pack in general right now. This pack, it's almost, you know, this is crazy right here, all that's going on right behind Eric Johnson and them. They're 2 wide. I'm pretty sure I saw some 3 wide. Actually, surprisingly, Ryan Hesgaard hanging on fairly well down there on the bottom. Here comes Eric Wolf looking back. I thought Eric almost got in the wall there. They are literally even as we speak right now. Eric got a little bit of advantage going off into 3. Ryan will get the run down off into turn number 3. Ryan's going to be able to try to get the run back here. Here comes Blake Griffith is falling to the back here. David Wright makes a crazy move. Here comes Blake trying to get back up underneath him.
Blake almost got underneath him there. Wright barely got down right next to that apron. I think Wright slowed up a little bit because the 85 was slow in front of him and tried to go low, and then Blake Griffith saw an opening as well and tried to take it before Wright got there. Now you see Eric Wolf finally makes the pass on Hesgaard outside, as Eric Johnson is still running away with the lead. We know Eric Wolf was a little bit faster than him on the last run. We'll see if he can make up that gap as the last 6 laps of this race moves on.
Honestly, one thing I've always known to do, and especially in this sim, you're racing to 5 to go. And once you get to 5 to go, the race is over. Right now, and pretty much from now on, you're racing like it's the last lap almost. Because, I mean, let's just be real, because you don't want to finish where you are. There's no green-white checkered. You want to finish this race as big as you can, and any waiting that you can potentially keep you from gaining a spot if a yellow came out. So don't be surprised if we see some guys make some pretty crazy moves here. But right now, Eric Johnson, he is saying, wreck, guys. I don't care, wreck.
Yeah, everybody, please wreck. Let's finish this thing under caution. I got the first position. It's my first race in this league, and I'd like to take home a win.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think Eric, even if he catches him, I don't think it's going to be enough. But this is crazy here. As I'm looking back here at 4th, 5th, you know, that area right now, this is just crazy. Look at this David Wright. We haven't talked about him pretty much for most of the evening. He's up here trying to take away 3rd position away from Ryan Hesgaard.
Yeah, I think Ryan Hesgaard finished in 2nd place last week in the A split.
Nick DRL, he saved it coming up turn number 4 right in front of Brady Briggs. That's actually Brandon goes sideways. Oh, hard to the inside while he's coming back up on the track. He pulled a Greg Biffle.
Wow, that is very, very unfortunate there. The 85 of Brandon Dalton, I can't believe he barely lost his truck there. He tried very hard to maintain it and couldn't quite hold on to it.
Yeah, that almost was identical to Greg Biffle's wreck here a few years ago.
You see the 85 here. He's catching up right to the back of Ryan Hesgaard and David Wright. Catching a lot of ground. Tries to take it 3 wide. Dips below Ryan Hesgaard.
That was the
He
exact
gets
thing
down
we
on the
were talking
apron at the
about.
start-finish line, and Ryan Hesgaard continues to pinch him down, barely gets into the side of his truck, and sends him right into the inside wall. Not much the
Man.
85 could do there. Very good on James Pandoff to avoid him on the inside around at the very tail end of that wreck, and that's unfortunate finish for Brandon Dalton. It sucks he had to finish like that, but heck of a race from those top five. That was awesome to
Oh,
watch
yeah.
the whole
I
way
mean,
through. 1 and 2, you know, the same two guys that were out there earlier. Eric had the unfortunate events coming to the end of that first green flag run where he messed up on pit road, but he gets P2 back. Eric Johnson gets into the first position, and Ryan Hesgaard rounds out the top 3.
yeah. Well, you know, that's one thing that happens in these things. You know, Ryan Hesgaard did nothing wrong. He did what he was supposed to do, and he pinched him down. And I think that's what you got to do here. Is you got to pinch him down, and you know, because you don't want to give up anything, especially in these closing laps. So I don't blame Ryan for what he did. You know, he did what he had to do to finish third. You know,
There's
it is
only
what
a
it
few
is.
laps left. It's an unfortunate finish there for the 85 of Brandon Dalton, but again, he was trying to do what he had to do. So he moved where he thought he needed to be. Ryan Hesgaard held his line and didn't leave him any room to come back up on the track. And that's, you know, maybe that was a little lapse in judgment by Brandon. He maybe should have just hung on to P4 and continued where he was and tried to make the pass a little more clean. But great finish by those top 5 guys. That was awesome to watch the whole way through.
Oh, for sure. Now I'm kind of interested to see how the main's gonna go.
Yeah, it should be very interesting. I know the top 5 or 6 from the B split race are going to come in here and give the top 5 or 6 from this race a run. Regulars we see up there in the front. David Wright is a bit of a surprise. Eric Wolf's always up there. Blake Griffith, Brady Briggs. That's just a few of the names. Ryan Hesgaard's been up there the last few weeks. Those guys are always up near the front in both of these splits. So unless something catastrophic happens in the main race, it should be a great race to watch.
Yeah, almost good enough that I almost want to be down there in it.
Well, I hope you join me back in the booth here for the main race. We'll be going live at 9:55 p.m. Eastern time for the main race. Maybe you can get out there and practice a few laps before you have to come in and join me in the booth there, Derek.
I hope so, because I got to get used to driving ovals again.
Definitely not an easy thing to do, especially here in Kentucky
Oh.
where these tires go so quick.
Oh no.
That 49 out of 50. Some of you guys, this is our very first broadcast here on DRL TV. I'm a brand new broadcaster. Derek has some slight experience in the booth. Just getting used to things, trying to make things as smooth and enjoyable for all of our viewers as possible. We'll be here all season next season, broadcasting the Cup Series from Dynasty Racing League. And we're going to go to some interviews here with Eric Johnson, Eric Wolf, and Ryan Hesgaard, our top 3 drivers, here in just a minute, as they make their way around the final lap of the Kentucky 50, the first split race heading into the Kentucky 120.
So who do you want to bring in first here as they're getting ready to come across the line?
We'll let these guys do their victory lap real quick. Watch Eric do his nice little burnout, and then we'll probably pull in P3 to get started on our interviews here. Which is Ryan Hesgaard. He'll be the first one to come in. Go ahead and let Eric do his nice burnout for everybody. See if anybody comes up and gives him a little tap here at the end of this race to congratulate him. Looks like Hesgaard's going to run right up on his bumper. Say congrats on the win.
Let's go on and bring in the number 2 driver. I don't even know what kind of car he's even running right now.
Hesgaard is running in the Chevrolet Silverado.
The S2R, I believe, car.
Yeah, he is in. He is a member of Silent Syndicate Racing, S2R. He is him and a few other drivers actually in our league. I don't know if any of them are here in this A-split race tonight, but he finishes in P3.
Let's bring him on in here. Yeah, he's in here.
Hey, Ryan Hesgaard, you got a copy? Ryan Hesgard, you got a copy?
Wow. Well,
Hang on just a second, guys. We'll get somebody else in here and move on with these interviews.
Okay, we moved him back. Who do you want to bring down? You want to bring down Eric Wolf?
Yeah, hang on 1 second, though. Give me just a second. All right, go ahead and pull Ryan Hesgard back in here. We'll get the third place interview out of the way. Ryan Hesgard, you got a copy?
Yeah, Ryan Branch, go ahead.
Hey, congratulations on a P3 there, man. That's a little unfortunate finish for Brandon in the 85. We saw him try to move low there and take off with third place from you, but you held your line. You kept him down there and made him make a little mistake there towards the end of the race, man. How do you feel?
It was hard fought. Practice session earlier was completely different. So I was hoping I'd be kind of prepared for when we had a long tire run, but it was the exact opposite. Where the practice was super loose, I just got super tight at the end. Then we got on the new tires, and I wasn't as good on new tires as the rest of those guys. So I knew I had to kind of pinch them there, but I didn't want to. With Eric on the outside, I had to keep her low. I don't know. Worked out well for me, I guess.
Yeah, it seems as though you were doing better there towards the end of that first green flag run, and then we had that caution come out, and we didn't know exactly what was going to happen, and if we'd be able to see you hold on to that position, if you would move up positions, or if you'd lose a few. So the 85 was charging hard. It's awesome that you held him down there and finished for P3. It's unfortunate that caused the caution to come out. He barely touched the wall. It was a single car spin, but congratulations on P3. And hopefully we'll see you again in the main split race. You want to give a shout out to anyone?
Yeah, I always thank the S2R team. Jordan really helped me out with the practice session today. I got to log about 100 laps. It was the first time at Kentucky, so big thanks to him. My teammate Bill, him and I were running quite a bit, and I helped him out. So it was good to see him doing halfway decent in the practice session. Got to thank you for the broadcast. Got to thank the whole DRL guys for everything that that everybody does. The list is long, so I'll leave it short. But big thank you to all those guys.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, hopefully we'll see you again in the main race, and good luck.
Thanks, sir.
All right, Derek. Who we got next? I think the next person we're going to bring in here is Eric Wolf, who finishes in P2. Eric, you got a copy?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, Eric, that was an awesome race, man. You led 32 laps. You finished in second. You started out there in the front. That was it was fun to watch, man. That first green flag run was awesome. Looks like you dove down a little too low entering your pit box there. I know iRacing made some adjustments in that last big patch they came out with, man. Are those pit boxes just too tight now?
I wouldn't say they're too tight, but I haven't done enough pit stops since the change to really have a gauge for the virtual box that you're allowed in and out of. I didn't think it was too close, but apparently it was. Just a mental error, I guess.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure what happened. I was watching it. Derek told me you went inside. I saw some guys come out, and I assumed maybe they got a two tire stop, and you took four. But that stinks that you got stuck down there. Awesome that you made back the positions that you did. I think you gained two just before that second caution came out of nowhere. So that was awesome. Congratulations on the second place finish. I know you'd have liked to have been up there running with Eric, but that was an awesome finish, man. How'd you feel at Kentucky? I know this is our first time here in the trucks. Were the tires holding up, or were they pretty much gave out before that caution came out?
Yeah, thanks for the kind words there. But as far as the tire wear went, I was burning up my right front. I mean, it was tight on entry, and then it was loose but manageable off. But I need to figure out how to change my line a little bit to make better use of the tires. They definitely go away if you're not careful. I was right on the limit. I think the second half, well, from lap 25 on, Eric Johnson was starting to pull me in a little bit. I mean, it wasn't much, but he was a little better than I was toward the end there.
Yeah, we noticed. I know you're one of those drivers. You kind of tend to go for the long run rather than burn them up early. You were running a little bit higher line there early in the race and holding that first position quite handily. We noticed Brady Briggs fell back quite hard trying to stay with you guys up there, and I think he was just running a little bit lower line than you guys were, and his tires went much quicker. So I think you did a great job there. Congratulations on the P2. Hopefully, we'll see you in the main race. You got anybody you want to say hey to? Give a shout out.
Yeah, just typical James for putting on this league. It's a lot of fun all the time. I've done this into my second truck race, but I like what we do here with the heats and then going to the main race. Makes for a pretty fun evening. Just want to thank everybody who's part of DRL for not only putting on these races, but for all the drivers who participate too and make it work.
Awesome, Eric. Well, thank you. Have a good night, man. We'll see you in the main race.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Last person, we're going to bring in our race winner here, Eric Johnson. Eric, do you got a copy?
I do. Can you copy me?
I read you loud and clear. Just got to turn up your volume level a little bit there. Congratulations on the first place win, man. Was this your very first race with the Dynasty Racing League?
Yeah, I did a couple ones, right? I think the first or second race with them, and then I just decided to race this one with them.
That's awesome, man. Well, Kentucky, it was exciting to watch. You guys had that long green flag run there at the beginning. Looks like you were slowly reeling in Eric Wolf. We were monitoring your times there, and you were catching him by about half of a tenth of a second every lap. And then the caution came out, and you kind of ran away with it when he had that early mistake there in his pit box.
Yeah, I was watching that, and he was slowly pulling away, so I was getting worried. And then all of a sudden, it started coming to me. I was hoping it was going to stay green just to see how it played out, but yeah, I'll take the win how I can get it.
Yeah, you must have been just running the better line for the tires. You led 17 laps there. You started in fourth position. Awesome that you finished first. Hopefully, we'll see you in the main race. You plan to compete there in the next one?
No, not tonight, but thanks for this race, though.
That's right. Hopefully, we'll see you next week and the weeks to come. What series are you running next season in the DRL?
I haven't decided.
All right. Well, we know your iRating's up there. We were comparing you and Eric Wolf have quite the jump over everybody else on iRating, and we know that takes some dedication as far as running those official races every week and staying safe around everybody and not getting demoted leagues or licenses because some of those guys don't race the safest. It's awesome to see people at 5,000 plus IR. So thanks for coming out, man. Congratulations on the first place win. You got anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Just Dynasty Racing League and you guys for broadcasting.
Thanks, Eric. Enjoy the win. Have a good night, man.
Thanks, you too.
Pretty interesting split race, I will say. Some great interviews too, right there.
That was awesome. That was definitely an interesting split race. I can't wait to see what the main has to offer. Because I think for anybody watching this, there will be a simulcast. I think David Wellborn still intends to broadcast the main race. I'm going to broadcast it as well. Me and Derek want some practice here broadcasting for you guys and kind of getting used to the layouts and moving cameras around and getting used to all of this to get DRL TV ready for live action when we go live in the 2018 season. Hope to see everybody back here. We'll go live again at 9:55 p.m. Derek, thanks for joining me tonight.
Oh, yeah, no problem, dude.
See you guys again in about an hour.
All right. Hey,